So, you're looking for a dog trainer here in Cleburne. It can feel like a pretty big deal, right? Well, we're going to walk through a really straightforward way to help you and your dog build an awesome partnership right here in town.
Okay, so here's what we'll cover. First, what life with your Cleburne dog looks like. Then, we'll figure out what kind of training you actually need. After that, we'll get into the different methods, some key questions you should ask any trainer, and finally, we'll touch on local costs and rules. All right, first things first, let's talk about what success actually looks like for you and your dog. What's the end goal you're hoping to achieve together, living here in Cleburne? It's funny. Most of us want the exact same things. We want a dog who can walk nicely on a leash, who actually comes back when we call, and who isn't going to, cause a scene at the local coffee shop. These are the practical, everyday things that make life with a dog truly enjoyable, not a constant stress. Okay, so with those goals in mind, let's get a little more specific and figure out what type of training is going to get you there. So take a second and think about what your main goals are. Are you starting from scratch with basic obedience and manners? Or maybe you've got a brand new puppy who needs socialization. On the other hand, you might be dealing with something a little more complex, like reactivity or fear. Pinpointing this is really going to help you find a trainer who has the right experience for you.
And then there's the format. How do you actually want to do the training? Group classes can be awesome for socialization. Private lessons give you that focused one-on-one time. In-home training is perfect if the problems are, happening in the home. And then you've got options like board and train, which can really jumpstart the process. It's all about what fits your life, your budget, and what your dog needs to succeed.
Of course, your dog's age is a huge factor. For a puppy, everything is about socialization and learning the basics. If you've got an adolescent, that 1 to 2-year-old, they might be pushing some boundaries. And with an adult or senior dog, you might be teaching new skills or maybe even working on unlearning a few old habits.
Okay, this next part is really important. We need to talk about the philosophy behind the training. Honestly, the method a trainer uses is probably the biggest factor you need to consider.
So, what you're really looking for is something called positive reinforcement. And let's be clear, this is way more than just handing out treats. It's a method based on science that's all about rewarding the behaviors you want to see. The whole point is to teach your dog what to do and build a relationship that's based on trust, not fear. And when you look at the options, the difference is pretty clear. Reward-based methods, they build your dog's trust and confidence. They teach your dog how to make the right choice. Punishment-based methods, on the other hand, the ones that use intimidation or things like shock collars, they can create a lot of fear and anxiety. And often, they don't even fix the original problem. They just create new ones.
All right, so let's say you found a few trainers who seem to use positive methods. Now it's time to ask some questions to make sure they're really the right fit.
Here are 5 critical questions you should absolutely ask. You want them to describe their methods in their own words. Ask about their experience with your specific goals. How do they tailor the training for your dog and your family? A big one is, how will you practice with real-world distractions? And of course, always get a clear answer on what the total investment includes. No surprises.
Okay, have you ever seen a trainer's name and then a bunch of letters after it, like a little alphabet soup? It can look confusing, but it's actually a really good sign. Let's quickly break down what those letters mean.
So things like KPA, CTP, or CPDTKA, these aren't just random letters. They mean that a trainer has gone through formal education, passed tests, and agreed to uphold certain professional standards. This is especially important because, believe it or not, Texas has no state licensing for dog trainers. So these certifications are one way a trainer can show you they're serious and dedicated to their profession.
Okay, let's get down to the brass tacks. For us here in Cleburne, we're going to talk about what you can expect in terms of cost and some of the local rules that every dog owner should be aware of. So as you can see, one of the nice things about our area is that the costs for training are often a bit more reasonable than if you were in the middle of the DFW Metroplex. This chart just gives you a general idea of what to expect, whether you're looking at group classes or something more involved like a board and train. And hey, being a good dog owner also means being a good neighbor, right? So just a few key local rules to remember. Your dog has to be on a leash in public parks and spaces. A rabies vaccination isn't just a good idea, it's required by state law. And it's always smart to be aware of noise ordinances. The excessive barking thing. And guess what? Good training helps with all of this.
So once you've learned some new skills with your trainer, that's when the next chapter begins, practicing in the real world. That's what really makes all this training stick.
And lucky for us, we've got some great places to do that right here. You could start on some quiet neighborhood sidewalks. Then, maybe head over to Hulen Park to practice with your dog on leash. As you get more confident, the trails at Cleburne State Park are fantastic. This is how you build up to having a dog who is just cool and calm no matter where your adventures take you.
At the end of the day, a well-trained dog is just a joy to live with. They become a true companion for all your Cleburne adventures. We really wish you the best of luck on your training journey. All the effort you put in now is going to open up a whole new world for you two. From just having a peaceful walk at the park to being able to relax with friends and family, knowing you've got a happy, confident, and well-behaved member of the community right by your side.